Hello, this video is a paper of company administration for the BCom third semester, and the first module include two units, that is the introduction to company law divided into two units. Here we deals only the first unit. As of you all know, for starting a business we need a huge investment. It may not be possible for a single person to contribute the entire amount. The partnership is suitable for small scale business only. But to start a company needs huge amount, and we can collect that huge amount from the shareholders. In general, company means an association of persons for a common object. The term company is derived from the Latin word com, means with or together, and panis means bread. So it is referred as an association of persons who take their meals together. Company as a form of business is traditionally called joint stock company. Company as a form of doing business has its origin in 1600 AD, when the East India Company was established by way of a royal charter in England. Subsequently, the legislative developments in the mid 19th century in the UK give rise to the modern form of company. Corporate laws world over have regulations regarding formation and functioning of companies. In India, the Companies Act 2013 contains the law relating to. Before passing of the Companies Act 2013, Indian Companies Act 1956, Indian Companies Act 1850, Indian Companies Act 1866, Indian Companies Act 1882, and the Indian Companies Act 1913 were the enactments in India for registration and regulation of companies. All these acts were repealed. The Companies Act 2013 was passed to consolidate and amend the law relating to companies. The Act comprises of 7 schedules, 29 chapters, and 470 sections. It extends to the whole of India. The Act of Parliament received the assent of the President on 29th August 2013. The Act shall be applicable from financial year 2014-15. So what is the meaning of company? Company is an incorporated association of persons created by law. A company exists only in the contemplation of law. Law creates it, and law alone can dissolve it. It may be formed by an act of parliament, or by a royal charter, or by registration under company law. The essential feature of a company is that it is an incorporated association created by law. Definition of company. Section 2, subsection 20 of the Companies Act defines a company as: company means a company incorporated under this act or under any previous company law. So an existing company means a company formed and registered under any of the former Companies Act. Thus, a company formed and registered under the Companies Act 1956 or under any former Indian Companies Act is a company. So, is there any difference between company and a body corporate? A body corporate or corporate body refers to a body which is incorporated under a statute and has a perpetual succession with a common seal and is a legal entity separate from the members constituting it. The term body corporate is wider term. Companies registered under the Companies Act 2013 or any former Indian Companies Act or a foreign companies, corporation formed under special act of the parliament or a state legislature of foreign country, public financial institution as defined in section 2 subsection 72 of Companies Act 2013, nationalized banks, limited liability partnership registered under the Limited Liability Partnership Act 2008. All these are included in the body corporate. That is why body corporate is a wider term than a company. But it does not include a society registered under the Societies Registration Act 1860, a corporation sole, a cooperative society registered under any law relating to cooperative societies, and any other body not being a company as defined in the Companies Act, which the central government may, by notification in the official gazette, specify in this behalf. So, the difference between company and a corporation. Corporation means a body or institution having an independent legal entity and enjoying perpetual succession. There are two types: corporation sole and corporation aggregate. Corporation sole refers to a single person which is constituted as a perpetual office in respect of some functions, that is public trustee, president, governor, minister, etc. It is not taken as body corporate for purpose of this act, but it is still a legal person and can be a member of a company. Corporation aggregate means a group of individuals associated as one body having a perpetual succession and an independent legal entity. It may be a trading or non-trading corporation, and it includes chartered companies, companies incorporated by special acts of parliament or state legislature, companies registered under the Companies Act, municipal corporation, district boards, universities, etc. So, what are the features of a company? The features include incorporated association. That is, a company must be incorporated or registered under the Companies Act. A company may be incorporated under the Act either as a private company or a public company. Next one is artificial person. On the incorporation of a company, it becomes an artificial person in the eyes of law with a distinct name and a perpetual succession. Separate property. That is, a company is a legal person. It can therefore hold the property as its own name. And the property in the name of the company is its separate property, which is controlled and managed and disposed of by the company in its own name. Perpetual existence. It means continuous existence. Common seal. The common seal is the official signature of the company. Let's say a company has common seal, which is used as a substitute for its signature. Separation of ownership and management. Company is an artificial person created by law. It is owned by the shareholders. So it is practically impossible because the number of person who holds the shares of the company is very large, and the control is vested with the management. But owners and management are separate. Limited liability. The liability of a member is limited to the nominal value of shares. Transferability of shares. They can easily transfer their ownership to some other person. That is only in the case of public company, but for a private company, it is not possible. The next one is types of company. Companies are divided into different categories. On the basis of incorporation, it is divided into chartered company, statutory company, registered company, and a foreign company. A chartered company means it is incorporated by a special charter granted by the King or Queen of England. Statutory company means if a company formed by a special act passed either by the central or a state legislature. A registered company means a company registered under the Indian Companies Act. A foreign company means a company which is incorporated outside India but have a place of business in India. There is another classification that is on the basis of control. A company may be classified into holding company and a subsidiary company. A company which controls another company is known as holding company. And the company so controlled is named as subsidiary company. So the other company is known as subsidiary company. Section 2, subsection 87. A company shall be deemed to control another company in the following cases. That is, if it controls the majority composition of the board of directors of another company, or if it holds majority of the shares of another company, or a company shall be deemed to be the holding company of another company if another company is a subsidiary of the first mentioned company. That is subsidiary of the subsidiary company, sub-subsidiary. To be treated as a holding company, a company must possess more than 50% shares. Only more than 50% shares is needed. But in the case of government company, to be treated as a government company, it must hold 51% share. In the case of holding company, it need only more than 50% share. But in the case of government company, it need more than 51% shares. That is, a government company means a company in which not less than 51% of the paid up share capital is held by the central government or state government, or partly by the central government and partly by the state government. A non-government company means which is not a government company. A company which is not a government company is known as non-government company. The other classification is on the basis of number of members. On the basis of number of members, the classification is private company and public company. A private company as defined by section 2 subsection 68 means a company which has a minimum paid up capital of rupees 1 lakh or such a higher paid up capital as may be prescribed, and whose articles of association contains the following restriction. So in the case of private company, there are some restrictions. The restrictions are, it restricts the right of members to transfer its shares. So here the possibility of transfer of shares is nil, and it limits the number of its members to 200. Maximum number is limited to 200, and the minimum number required for a private company is 2. 2% is required. There is another exception, one person company. In the case of one person company, we need only one person. In general, a private company needs minimum 2% and a maximum 200%. It prohibits any invitation to the public to subscribe for any securities of the company. And it must add the word private as part of its name. So what is a public company? A public company defined by section 2 subsection 71, a company which is not a private company. It has a minimum paid up capital of rupees 5 lakh or such a higher paid up capital as may be prescribed. And the minimum number of persons required to start a public company is 7. There is no such maximum limit. It is limited to the number of shares issued by the company. Some other forms of business are one person company, small company, dormant company, nidhi, associated form, association not for profit or licensed, and illegal association. So the summary is, company is an association created by the law. In India, the Indian Companies Act 2013 contains the law relating to companies. The act is a central legislature passed by the parliament, and it received the assent of the president on 29th August 2013. The act, which is replacing the 5 decades old Companies Act 1956, shall be applicable from financial year 2014-15. The company has various features: perpetual succession, common seal, independent legal entity, artificial person, incorporated association, transferability of shares, limited liability, separation of ownership, etc. The entity of a company is separate from its members. Statutory company is formed by special act passed by central or state legislature. Companies registered under the Indian Companies Act are known as registered companies. There are various privileges enjoyed by private company over a public company. One person company is a company which has only one person as a member. Government company is a company in which at least 51% of the share capital is held by government. Foreign company is a company incorporated outside India but having a place of business in India. Licensed companies are associations not for profit which have been granted license by the government. An illegal association is an association of more than 50 persons which carries a business without being registered under any law. Thank you.